Government has advanced the move to save about 1 trillion annually through reducing on the wasteful expenditure from duplication of government agencies. Parliament is debating the bill after respective ministries tabled different bills justifying the need to rationalize the attached agencies.
The bill contains repeal of the Uganda National Roads Authority Act 2006,
is the repeal of the Non-Performing Assets Recovery Trust Act, Cap 95, the amendment of Assets of Departed Asians Act.
Most of these agencies were a formation of acts of Parliament, and thus the need to revisit the guided laws were inevitable.
You intimated that it would be very appropriate, Right Honourable Speaker, for the sponsors of rationalization, namely the Ministry of Public Service, to interact intimately and intensively with the leaders of the committees.
One of the basic tenets of a good law, it must be consultative, and this is part of the consultations I beg to submit.
And when you're going for that meeting, Honourable Minister, kindly go with the report that formed your decision to rationalization, so that these members will be able to appreciate and understand what it is for them to take to their committees.
It is now upon the investigations of Parliament to determine whether the move tallies with the government idea to cut costs and improve efficiency, as well as be friendly to the taxpayer.
They want to understand the nature of bill that was laid. May you indulge the government chief whip to guide the ministers, because each of the bills carries a memorandum. So the memoranda cannot be omnibus.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is among the crusaders of rationalization after the president recently called for more support for wealth creators through engaging in the 4 sectors of the economy, including commercial agriculture, industries, services and ICT. However, the tabling of the respective bills comes at a time when the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development has revised the resource envelope and expenditure for the financial year 2024-2025 from 52.723 trillion to 53.336 trillion. This, according to Minister of State for Finance in charge of General Duties, Henry Musaasizi, is attributed to the consideration of statutory obligations, including pension, gratuity and funds for the Uganda Intergovernmental Fiscal Transfer UGIFT program.
So this is not something extraordinary. You can see it is something consistent with the process we shall arrive at by May.
The upward shift in the resource envelope is not a surprise to a section of members of Parliament who claim that the government is playing a hide-and-seek game to include some uncalled expenditure.
You have now processed a budget of 52 trillion by today. They are now adding another 1.3 trillion, which means that you are going to pass a budget when 1.3 trillion has not been properly scrutinized. That's why the law says you must disclose when you are presenting the budget framework paper. But 2, you are dealing with people who are dishonest. Sometimes they keep money for items they know that Parliament will reject.
In this financial year, for example, there was about 2 trillion shillings that could not be explained. And that pointed to us that the intention was then to later revise the budget to 54 trillion shillings and claim that the 2 trillion shillings has been found after Parliament has made its recommendation. Given that our country can only mobilize about 30 trillion shillings domestically at the very high end, otherwise we do about 28 trillion, and we mobilize about 5 to 6 trillion externally.
They will also be accommodated. This is normal in the process of budget preparation and budget approval. So I cannot say at this stage that we shall carry this resource envelope up to the end.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News.